Hello everyone, this is PamelaTopjian, and today we're going to talk about inner child healing and doing some inner child work. So last week, my solo video, not counting the videos that I do with guests on Holistic Connections podcasts, which I'll talk about at the very end again if you don't know what that is. But last week, the solo video that I did was on C-PTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And I had meant to talk more about inner child work at that time, and I didn't. I realized while I was editing, wait a minute, I didn't talk about inner child work very much. So this is the follow-up video to that, and I will put last week's video in the description below in case you missed it. So the concept of inner child work is all about the emotional imprint of our early experiences, and this part of us holds our first understandings and feelings of love, of safety, feelings of belonging, and self-worth. And when our needs were met at that time and met consistently, our inner child feels safe and they feel loved and will most likely grow into emotionally stable adults. However, if they weren't met because of abuse or neglect, which is unintentional abuse, or some sort of trauma or instability, we as children figure out coping strategies for survival that leads into issues in our adult life. So there are some signs that may show up if your inner child needs some healing. And some of these were mentioned in my C-PTSD video. But if you feel overly sensitive to rejection or criticism, if you struggle with boundaries, or if you find yourself people-pleasing, which I did a whole nother video on people-pleasing, if you feel shame or apologize for expressing your needs, you may be told that your emotional reactions are immature or that you're overreacting. On the other hand, you may also feel numb or feel yourself having no emotions or not being able to understand your emotions or express them. You may also have a really harsh inner critic or feel a sense that like something is missing within you or within your life. So when we ignore this inner child self, the reactions or symptoms may become more severe. We may have anxiety or depression, or find ourselves self-sabotaging or self-harming even. So healing happens when the adult you becomes the safe presence that the younger you didn't always have. We parent that little one inside of us, letting them know that we are now the adult in charge and we are here for them. And this is how our nervous system begins to feel safe. So one of the ways to do some real inner child work is to look at some photos of yourself as a child, if you have them. If not, you can close your eyes and just imagine or remember yourself as a child. And look closely at that little one and try to look without judgment and notice maybe at first just their clothes that they're wearing, the haircut that they have, the surroundings that they're in, and also look a little deeper, looking at their expression on their face, looking at the posture and how they hold their body and how they hold themselves. And see if you can feel or remember how that little person was feeling. And now imagine your adult self sitting right beside them. And just say quietly to yourself, or even out loud if it feels safe and it feels right to go ahead and do that. You can say, I see you. I'm here with you. Or I'm here with you now. And let them know you didn't make up that pain that you felt. You were not exaggerating when you remembered, or if you did tell anybody about the pain that you felt. You were justified in that. And this can be really especially helpful if you've tried to talk to others in the family and if you were shut down. So let that inner child know that they're not alone anymore. And another exercise is to write out a letter to yourself at different ages from the perspective of yourself now, from their future self. So what would you want them to know? What would you want to tell them? Do you have any words of comfort that you could offer them? What did they need to hear from a loved one that they never heard? And also on the flip side of that, try to imagine what your inner child might want to write to their adult self, to you. Or what would your inner child want to write to or say to their primary caretaker? Even if they're no longer alive or there's no contact for safety reasons, write that letter. And you can be there by their side and assist them to write that letter. And one thing that sometimes really helps is to write it in your non-dominant hand. And that can sound odd, I know, but sometimes it can really help to get your inner child or your subconscious mind involved in the project. So don't try to censor it or soften it if angry words start to come out. This might be just what you need to feel, might be what they need to express. And this might be the first time that they're given the opportunity to fully express themselves. So give them that opportunity. These exercises can help in building a relationship with that little one within you. And these are not one-time things. You may want to do them on a regular basis or add to it in whatever feels right and true and safe for you. Whatever feels good, you can add on to these exercises. They're just starting points to get you started building that relationship and having that communication. The more that you do it, the deeper results or insights or the deeper the connection will be. And different things will come up different times that you do it. And at first it may feel kind of odd or awkward, but the more you do it, the more it will feel natural and you'll relax and ease into it and you'll get better results. And you might notice that it brings up some intense emotions, and that's okay. And if you had numbed your emotions as a child, allow yourself to feel them fully, just like that anger that might come out in that letter. Allow them. Give them permission, and thereby giving yourself permission to feel it all, to feel it fully. Now is the time. And if you're seeing any kind of therapist or coach, talk to them about these exercises that you're doing and how you're feeling about it. And while in the process, if it becomes too much or too heavy, it's okay to pause. Take a break, ground yourself, and even tell your inner child that you'll be back. Tell them, we're going to take a break here. This is getting heavy, but I'll be back. I'm not giving up on you. I love you. And we'll be back soon to continue this. Let them know that. And you might be surprised at how these exercises and how doing this can change yourself in your adult life. You might find it easier to set healthy boundaries, to respond rather than react with a knee-jerk emotional reaction. You might be able to calm that inner critic and offer comfort to yourself instead. Wouldn't that be nice? Get rid of that negative, the automatic negative response. right? And to be able to replace it with more comfort and ease and inner peace, support from yourself. You might even find yourself behaving differently in relationships, being more self-aware, letting go of guilt and shame. You might even find your voice in unexpected ways. And I know I feel like I'm being dramatic and animated, but I so believe in this work, and I've seen it work with other people and myself. It can be life-changing. So having said that, I'm not suggesting that these are magic or cure-all exercises, but it can certainly help to start on that healing journey with your inner child. So I want to talk about boundaries, because once you start to heal, you might find that people in your life aren't ready to accept this new version of you. But they might try to minimize or criticize the idea of the inner child itself, or trying to heal from something that happened long ago. They might say you can't change the past, and that's true. Or they might tell you, let it go already. That was so long ago. But they may not realize how much it's really affecting your life now. They don't get to say what's right for you. You might need to step away from anyone who wants to stand in your way of your healing and your growing. Anybody who wants to do that is not someone who has your best interest at heart. You might have to remind yourself that it makes sense that I feel this way. And it makes sense that I would want to heal from this. Practice saying no to others without explaining or without apologizing, because nobody except for you gets to say that you are validated in your decision to step away or set any boundaries, or even just take some time alone to reflect or to contemplate or to do this work. When they ask you why, that gives them the opportunity to tell you or suggest reasons that they think you're wrong, or that they think you're overreacting, or just to invalidate your feelings, which is exactly why you might need to step away. Because if you try to calm that inner critic while you have an outer critic, it's just going to butt heads. It's not going to work as well. You have to give yourself that validation, give yourself that permission, regardless of what anybody else thinks. And you do not even have to share with them what you're doing or why you need some time alone. When there's some conflict about your inner child self or about doing this inner work for yourself, for your inner child, you might want to ask yourself, is this reminding me of a way that I felt as a child? Or how old do I feel right now? What about this is triggering? And could this be a clue for yourself about the person or the people who are triggering you? And decide if they deserve a response or if it might be better just to step away. And if it feels rude, it's okay. But you can say, if you need to say anything, I just need to make these decisions and do this work for myself right now, or something similar to that, whatever feels more natural to you. Try to be self-aware and notice what you need, not what others need, or not what they expect from you, or not trying to keep them comfortable. Be the adult protector for your inner child. That doesn't mean making others comfortable, right? And it might be hard at first. And if this work feels overwhelming, please seek support from a trauma-informed therapist, a coach, or a mental health professional, or an other type of holistic practitioner. Nobody can do it for you, but you don't have to do it alone. One way to learn about different types of holistic practitioners is to check out my podcast, Holistic Connections, Conversations with Holistic Practitioners. Here on this YouTube channel, there's a playlist. So if you go right to the channel, to the page, just click on my name under the video and it'll bring you to the page for this YouTube channel. And there's going to be tabs across the top. and one of them will be Holistic Connections Podcast. And there's over 60 of them on there already, all different types. There's a wide variation and spectrum of different types of holistic practitioners. And it's good to listen to a few of them with an open mind and with an open heart and feel what feels right, who feels like they're speaking to you. And then follow up with checking out their website or their socials, or check out somebody who does similar kind of work in your area. But the podcast is also on podcast platforms. It's Holistic Connections, Conversations with Holistic Practitioners, if you prefer to listen and not watch. So if this video resonated with you at all, or if it was helpful in any way, please share it out. You never know who needs to hear these words. Share your thoughts below in the comments. And if you would like me to record a guided visualization for inner child work, please let me know in the comments below, or any other ideas for a topic of discussion for these solo videos that I try to release every Wednesday between the Sunday videos with my guests of holistic practitioners. So thank you so much for being here. I wish you all such healing and deep inner peace. And please read the description below for more information. Thank you.